Okay, so there's a question in the app here. It says, there's often a lot of politics and protective details. Why do you think that is? And how can we get away from that?
100% there's a lot of politics. I think it's the nature of who we are, it's the nature of kind of the type of people that we bring into this industry or that come to this industry. Having all those type A's in one room. I think really the way to get away from that is by being the change you want to see in the game, being that guy in the detail that is showing everyone a smarter way for us all to win, showing everyone a smarter way for us all to move forward. That's been what has always worked for me, and that's what I come back to. The politics are part of human nature. They will always exist. You will go to a detail. That will be happening. What I explained with the bad SD EP thing will be happening. It will be happening. But as you start to show people that we can get way farther if we serve each other and protect each other, and you explain this to somebody and you start getting on the same page, you win them over one by one by one. But human nature is human nature, so some come with you and some try to do their own thing. But usually the packs work out better.
But for what you're saying, I'm getting you have to be like an innate leader to be actually to pull this off. If you're the only one who comes into a detail that has this type of culture, that you believe that social dynamics will work and that you need to create a team, and there's a lot of politics, you're going to be rejected right off the bat. How do you deal with that?
You will be rejected if you try to overtly impact that culture. But when people see you have a chance to take credit and you give it to the team, they're going to be like, what I really like about this is it's a very subversive way to stand out, and it's a very subversive way actually to impact everyone. When there's responsibility needing to be taken and you're getting blown up by the principal and you jump on it and say, hey, sir, ma'am, I absolutely apologize for that. We'll make sure it doesn't happen again. And the guy next to you did it, they're going to be like, who is this guy? What's he doing? You know what I mean? And when you start, and when someone asks you, because especially if you're the new guy and the small guy, you're not going to have the influence to do things like this. But what I've learned is when you operate like this and you're putting, you're sowing that good social equity in your environment, and you have the best relationships with the PAs and everyone's like, hey man, I need you to go talk to the PA. I need you to go talk to the nannies. You start to gain influence because what you're doing is working. And if you can't gain influence, if you can't gain influence in your direct unit, you can also make sure that the other tribes, the PAs, the drivers, and all the other auxiliary team members have better relationships with your team because you're out there doing what you can to make sure their lives are easier on your team's behalf. It's pretty powerful.
What's the most difficult cultural adjustment you had to make to fit into a client's world without compromising your integrity?
Ooh. That's a hot one right there, boy. Without compromising my integrity, difficult adjustment in terms of culture. I know there's been. I would say this did impact my integrity. By far, the most difficult adjustment I've had to make with a principal had to do with religion. And not because it was a different religion, but because it was my religion that was being done way differently. So I would open my eyes and be like, we're not the same thing, man. Like, you guys are ruining it right now. You know what I mean? Like, what are you doing? And I had to, it really, I had to really figure out what I believe and why I believe it and why I stand on it, because in that room, it was like, they were calling it the same thing, but it was really looking like something completely different. And I was in that environment for a long period of time, and I had to kind of really figure out exactly why I be who I was designed to be, you know what I mean? But I've dealt with a lot of things, like I've seen, the drugs and things like that, and you really just have to decide, how you're going to deal with those things ahead of time, or how you're going to make sure those things don't happen again if you're not okay with them, and that's kind of my answer for those things as well.
The Executive Protection Forum. Join the conversation of the executive protection industry. Get your tickets now while supplies last. we are capping off this event so everyone can get into our conversation with protectors at the top of the game. I look forward to seeing you there.